Hey friends, welcome back to this your channel, Dakota. And first of all, Merry Christmas. Today is the 24th, no, today is the 25th. The 25th. And you know, we should be spending time with the family, but I woke up early and I took care of my wife and all the family, so all that's all taken care of. So now I got a couple hours to spare to play in the garage. And well, what do we have today? Today we got over here the Dakota. And what we're gonna show you some love, right? I stopped driving this truck because it needs a water pump. I think you guys saw it on a previous video. I mentioned the truck was leaking coolant. So today we're gonna try to fix that by replacing the water pump. And it's just not the water pump. Let me show you around here.
Let me show you.
So what we're gonna do is we're going to replace the water pump. I decided to buy the OEM Mopar water pump. It's 100% new. The pump does not come with a gasket. So just for shits and giggles, I bought a Velcro gasket. I don't know if I'm gonna use this gasket or I will use just silicone, right? I guess I'll make a decision right on the go. We're also gonna do some spark plugs. It's been about 8 years probably since I replaced the spark plugs. We're gonna do an oil change. I don't got the oil over here, but this is the OEM filter. Maybe not OEM, but I guess OEM recommended. And then also we're gonna do some valve cover gaskets because the truck is old and it's already leaking some oil. It doesn't drip on the floor, but you can already see the oil running down the side coming from the valve cover gaskets. All right, so this is not gonna see you step to step because as you know, this is a very, very easy truck to work on. So the first thing we got to do is gonna remove the serpentine belt. Do you want to be my cameraman, brother? So we might need a flashlight. Here, the big one. Okay.
The big one. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Here's this dinosaurio, and my brother's gonna have some fun. You know.
This is just for fun. This is not benefiting anybody or making any money. So, you know, the things that don't make you any money, you leave it for last. It's not priority. Anyways, this application is probably gonna be the same. Don't quote me on this, but I believe it's gonna be the same for the 5.2, 5.9, maybe the 4.7. I don't really know the 4.7s. So the first thing we gotta do, I'm gonna get one of these long wrenches, and I'm gonna get the 15 side. Maybe it's not a 15, but that's the one that fits. One thing you guys gotta keep in mind is this truck still has a lot of standard bolts or standard size bolts, right? So instead of using millimeters, they're gonna use standards, wrenches, ratchets. So if you're a modern day mechanic, you might not even have that shit in your stash anymore. Nobody uses standard no more. So what we're gonna spin the tensioner. You wanna focus over here. This is your tensioner, belt tensioner, and we're gonna spin it clockwise. And what that's gonna do, that's gonna release the tension on the belt. So keep your heads away from the pinching surfaces, make sure you don't get hurt. And then we're gonna remove the belt. Yeah. See,
from here would be better.
From here, right? Okay, so this is
Would be easier.
the easiest pulley to get it off from, right? All right, so she's off. It's stuck. Maybe because
You can leave it there.
Maybe because it's not the right size, but there it is. Oh, by the way, never put shit on top of the engine base because sometimes you'll forget.
And then you know how it goes.
Bling, 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 bling. Okay, so we're gonna remove the belt. Nice and easy. And I am sure they sell an extractor to be able to remove the fan blade from the pulley.
There's some special wrenches that they're super thin wrenches that you can. They're long actually. They're
Long
super
and thin, right?
You have to get
We don't have that tool. Maybe we have it, but I'm not gonna use it. What I will use is my vice grips with the chain, and I'm gonna hold the pulley while I undo this big bolt right here. I don't even know what size that is. I guess I'll let you know when I'm there. So, anyways.
owners.
Okay. Okay. So the next step is gonna be to remove the fan blade. And like I told you, I'm gonna be using the vice grip with the chain, and then I'm gonna be using the skirting wrench. I believe the nut size is gonna be like 1.5 inch, right? About 1.5 inch. You're gonna put it right here, and then you can let the vice grips rest on this pulley right here, so it doesn't spin. Also, when you clamp it, make sure that you don't clamp it way too hard because that's gonna make some marks on the pulley.
But anyways, you don't need the water pump.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's right. If you were to reuse the pulley, right?
Correct.
So in this case, we're gonna give it.
Just watch your fingers.
Yeah, watch your fingers. Boom.
Hit it.
So that's gonna loosen it, and the way how you know it's loosened is because this nut's gonna spin independent from the water pump. See that? You wanna focus me right here? So see how they spin independent of each other? So that will make the fan come off. And I believe for the fan to come off, I might have to remove the cowl. Don't know
sure
the shroud, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you're gonna remove the shroud, and we're gonna start draining the fluids. Which in reality, I should have started draining the fluids first. But
correct.
You know what? Today's Christmas, so the order don't matter.
There's no order.
So there's no order. There's no worries. So
just one thing, one advice. I know that you know, but I remember one day when I took one of those fan blades, the fan out of the car. So what I did is like I spin it faster, you know, to make it come out easily, faster than I should. So I didn't calculate the amount of threads, and that thing just came out and hit the radiator and
put a hole on
it. So be extra careful with that, and everything's gonna be fine.
We're not gonna do that today. So we're gonna proceed to remove the coolant, and then we're going to remove the shroud, and that's gonna give us 100% access to the water pump. And then we'll do the water pump, and then I'll move up with the gasket.
Yep, sounds good. Vámonos.
Okay, let's get some coolant out of this thing. So I'm gonna use a 22 mil socket. The radiator has a plug. I don't know if you can see it up there. It's kind of hard to see, but I wanna start loosening the plug. Boom, easy peasy. And I'll tell you guys, this is one of the easiest trucks you can work on. One, it's not all-wheel drive or 4x4. Two, it's an old turd. This thing is one of the easiest ones. You don't have to deal with electronic water pumps. You don't have to deal with none of that crap. It's literally, it's like super easy. Ah, shit. Oh, yeah. That was mistake number one. Don't worry. We'll clean it up. All right, so there's that. And we'll continue with the rest. All right, my cameraman, you want to give me a hand over here? Of course. Sounds good. So we're gonna finish removing the shroud. I already removed a couple bolts, one from over here and one from over there. So this damn line is on the way. Maybe I can remove the line first and then the bolt. Let me see. Maybe I'm gonna have to do that. Okay, so bolts are off. Boom. And that's gonna be right there. And then the next thing we gotta do, we're gonna remove the, actually, you know what? We can remove the fan now. Hopefully it comes out together. You think it's gonna come out together?
I think so, yes.
I think so.
Maybe you're gonna have to remove the top radiator hose.
The top one, right? Extra clearance.
Yep.
Let's see, I don't wanna drop this thing and make a hole in my radiator like some people. I ain't gonna say names though.
Right.
Wow. There you go. Boom. Then remove this hose real quick. You'll be electrocuting yourself over there. Boom. That over there. And now from being the cameraman, you might have to give me a hand over here.
Yep,
I got it. Second one. Ooh. Look at that. Look at that, fellas. All the room for activities right there. So next step is gonna be to remove the water pump.
Yep. That hose.
Yeah.
This line.
That's gonna be for the heater cord. That is a pressed-in line.
Pressed-in line.
So we might have to get a new one. That's gonna be a problem. Yeah.
What's the what's the deal with the other one? So this one comes without, right?
That one comes without.
So I'm gonna try to save this one.
We're gonna try to save it.
Then what we're gonna do is just, if we can save it, just clean it very well. Clean it over here, put some silicone, and put it back together. And
you see what to do, right?
Yep.
All right, sounds good.
Vámonos, muchachos.
Vámonos. All right, fellas. So we're gonna proceed to remove the water pump The water pump is gonna be, let me see if I can show you real quick. The water pump is gonna be installed like this. So right, this is the top, this is the right, this is the left, this is the bottom. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts. So I'm gonna put it right here for reference for now. And we're gonna find the first bolt. Oh. 1. Be careful with your radiator. Don't damage it. Oh shit! Shit got stuck. There you go. All right. So it's gonna be number 2. By the way, the socket is a 14mm socket. I don't know what I was thinking. That was a standard. I guess maybe I was thinking of standard threads rather than the head, but I don't even know what I was thinking about. So 14mm socket. As you can see, the heater hose fitting, or yeah, this fitting hose actually came out over here without having 2 men handle it. So that's kind of cool. And then there's different lengths too. Pay attention to your lengths. So you don't want to put a long bolt where it's not supposed to be and have it intersect something inside, like some, you know, some of the moving parts inside the engine. That would not be a good day. Alright. And for whatever reason, Chrysler decided that it was a good idea to what? Sounds like a church. Alright, so next one, like I was saying, I don't know why Chrysler decided to put a freaking Torx on that one. I guess because the wrench wouldn't fit or the socket wouldn't fit. So they put a handy dandy Torx. I believe it's a Torx 45. You ever heard that song by Shinedown, the 45? Kind of a suicidal song, kind of crazy. Here goes, son of a gun. Boom, I think that was the last bolt. Yeah, Torx 45. Now let's proceed to pry apart the dang water pump, see if it comes off. Boom. See what it do. It's probably gonna drip some coolant, so I'm gonna move the bucket. Try to catch as much as possible. We don't wanna. And there she is. She's off. All right, fellas. So we're back, and we decided to discard the what's it called? The gasket. So we're not gonna use the gasket, and we're gonna use silicone. I mean, I put airplanes together with silicone. I don't think a freaking water pump is gonna make a difference, right? I use the L-ring, gray silicone, really good, really good. We do a lot of jobs and we use this stuff, and I'm not gonna say we never had a problem, but I want to say 99% of the times we don't have a problem, right? All right. So
sure. Oh, yeah, you're good.
yeah, everything is clean. Make sure that you clean your surfaces. I cleaned this with acetone, this surface. Over here, I had to scrape my gasket and then also clean it with acetone. So it is now very, very clean. That is going to ensure that your silicone is going to stick together, or the surfaces are going to stick to each other really good, and you're not going to end up with a damn leak. Because then what's the point, right? All right. So now I have the water pump upside down. No, I don't.
Oh, you good? Not gonna see any of what's no.
Yeah, no. Okay, so no, actually this is what's going on. This actually goes like that, like this.
There's no guides.
No guides. With that like a man. That one over there. That one over here. All right, another one. Let me see. There you go. Okay. Okay. Now I gotta do. One more. One more. Another one. And we got the two shorty ones. Come on, shorties. Okay, one. And the last one. I'll line them up real nice. And you know, guys, I think we're gonna need extension on that. Actually, we're gonna use this ratchet. Well, guys, I hope your Christmas was a good Christmas. I hope you guys spend time with your families. And if you don't have a family, your pets or your dogs, or you know, doing whatever you love the most. I hope you didn't go to jail, because that's not a good day. Because if you went to jail, you know that damn judge is not gonna work on Friday, so you're not getting out until freaking Monday or Tuesday. Right? So that's not a good day. It's better to spend the day with the family, you know, being responsible. Personally, I like to work on cars a little bit, so that's what we do. And you know, this water pump was way overdue. I feel like this water pump should have been done long time ago. Long time ago, but we finally got the time to do it, man. I mean, you guys got to keep in mind, I have a job Monday through Friday every day, and then we work on customers' cars, and then, you know, whatever things I got to do at home. So it adds up. It adds up. All right, so now we're gonna tighten them up. We're gonna tighten this up in a crisscross applesauce pattern, kind of like this. Wait. We're not gonna give it a lot. One, two. That's gonna be the Torx. Actually, I missed one. All right. I'm sure you guys noticed that I missed that freaking bolt. And I feel like I'm kind of rushing this a little bit. I just don't want to be here too long. And we still got a lot of work to do. We still got to do the valve cover gaskets. I don't think I'm gonna get around doing the brake cylinders tonight. That's gonna be a video for another day, I believe so. One, two, three, four. You heard that grunting over there? That's my brother. He's probably doing yoga over there. And say holy guacamole. You know when he says that shit is no good. You know when he says holy guacamole, it's gonna cost me money, it's gonna cost him money. That's what he means usually. So, well, one, two, did it again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7, 7. Boom. Yeah. If your kid goes around screaming 6, 7, 6, 7, he might need a job. He might need something to do. All right, so we have a nice even layer of squeeze out all the way around the pump, all the way back. It looks beautiful. And then we're gonna proceed to put all the hoses back together. I don't think you're gonna need to see everything again. I don't think you're gonna need to see everything, so I'm just gonna skip that, and I'm gonna show you when the truck is running. That's what's gonna happen. Because you guys are way too smart. You don't need to see that nonsense shit. Alrighty, fellas. So as you can see, the cooling system is all put back together. This guy's new water pump. Okay, well the next step is to replace the damn the valve cover gaskets. For that, we have the Velcro valve cover gaskets. I believe they come with no bolts, no grommets. I don't even know if you use grommets. I don't think you use grommets. And it's just the valve cover gaskets. So to do that job, we're gonna have to remove this bullshit right here, the K&N intake. For those of you who want to buy a K&N intake, does it give the truck more power? I'll be honest, it does not. Does it sound a lot cooler? Hell yeah, it does. So I got this from a junkyard. I will never, in my right mind, will pay $300 for a colder intake. I think I got this for like 20 bucks or something like that. I had to wash the filter because it was really dirty. But you know, I'd rather spend, you know, an hour washing the filter than buying a new intake. So I picked up from the junkyard. So it's pretty cool. So the next step is gonna be to remove the intake, and we're gonna have to clear some space over here. Maybe actually that's gonna have, maybe not. We're gonna clear some space over here so we can get access to the valve covers and the spark plugs. And I'll catch you in a second. Right on, girls and gals, boys and gals, and non-binary pals. So the first thing we did was remove the intake, as I've said it before. And then I used some of these reusable zip ties that we got on Amazon. They're actually pretty handy. So I used the zip ties to keep all the wires and hoses away from where I'll be working, because they just get on, like, this kind of shit just gets in the way, and it's kind of hard to work around it. So one thing I noticed is that when I went to remove the valve cover, some of the bolts were loose. And I asked my brother, like, damn, like, I think I left some of the bolts loose last time I did the valve covers. Or to be honest, I don't even know if I did the valve covers. Dude, it's been years. But my brother said on these old engines, sometimes it's normal, like, to find, I guess the gasket will compress and that will cause the bolts and nuts to come loose. But check this out. So we're gonna take this out. So when removing the bolts and nuts, if you have a truck that is like unmolested and it's never been messed with, you might want to keep track from where you remove the studs or the bolts, because the studs will have like these little clips that will, you know, that will hold your spark plug wires in place and will keep it away from the hot surfaces. In this case, man, this shit is all over the place. So I don't really, I took a picture to kind of remember, but I don't really care. I don't really care anymore. I just, you know, as long as the shit goes back on it, that's all I want. So I'm gonna start removing the bolts and see what we come across. But yeah, some of this shit's loose, and no wonder I had an oil leak. I'm gonna use some of this stuff. No wonder this thing was leaking oil like there's no tomorrow. Yep. And then also I found a lot of freaking rat shit. Apparently the rats think that this is the place to come take a fucking dump, you know what I'm saying? Apparently they think that this is the place to come shit, but I guess the warm, when it's really warm outside, or sorry, really cold outside, the rodents are always trying to find a place to hide, and your engine bay is always gonna be warm and cozy. Your cats too, if you have cats, always keep an eye on the cats, man, because you don't want to start the car and have your cat, you know, be stuck in the engine or something. So I'm gonna have to give this valve covers a nice wash, because they're like covered in rat shit. That's one of the main reasons why I am wearing the gloves, because I don't want the shit on my hands, dude. That's this, like Emilia said, that's disgusting. It's ridiculous. This is one. I think that's it. Okay, I'm gonna blow a little bit because I don't want that grime and stuff going inside my head. I still believe that this is one of the easiest trucks to work on. Well, at least the ones that I've seen. If you see one, got one more bolt over here. Yeah, look at that. Well, you won't believe that. If I told you that happened. Okay, I actually don't want to see what's under this cover because I really neglected this truck with the oil changes. I'm sure it's not that bad. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about it. It's a little bit dirty. Not disgusting, but it's a little bit dirtier than I wanted to see. All right, guys, that's one of them. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think I did these valve covers. I really don't think I did them. All right, so this is one of the valve covers. I really believe that the process on this side is gonna be the same, other than maybe you might have a little less room because of this pump right here, which we're gonna move aside, and the brake booster, but it's gonna be the same concept. So they used the socket that I used was an 11mm socket. I used my Snap-on 90-degree ratchet or power ratchet, but if you don't have power tools or whatever, it's not gonna make any difference. You might just go a little bit slower, but it's not gonna make any difference. You can still do it with a handheld ratchet. Yeah, so we're gonna continue with the other side. We're gonna do that. We're gonna change the spark plugs, and it looks like we're getting really close, guys. So we're back. Like I told you in the previous video, on this car, we're also gonna replace the spark plugs. I already removed the spark plugs. You guys are very smart. You don't need to see how I remove the spark plugs. But a couple things that I wanted to mention is that this is what the spark plugs look like. They are a little bit dirty. I'm not necessarily impressed by the way they look. The gap is 0.50, I believe. It's supposed to be 0.40. Let's go over the specifications. It tells you over here on the specifications on a 3.9 V6, 5.2, and 5.9 V8 engines. The spark plug gap is going to be 0.040 inches for the 5.9, which this is a 5.9. And then we're going to torque the spark plugs up to 26 to 30 foot-pounds. All right. So I'm going to repeat that again. The gap is going to be 0 or 0.040. And then the torque is going to be 26 to 30 foot-pounds. Sorry. And I'm going to do this side, I'm going to let you see this side. You guys already know if you have a V engine, if it's one way on one side, the other side is going to be no different. All right, you guys, so we're back. And as you can see, I am already done with the other side as well. So we already did that side. We did this side now. We replaced all the spark plugs, valve covers installed, water pump installed. And now it's time to charge the coolant. And also, we got to bleed the system, the cooling system. So I have had this machine over here for about, let me see, I'll make sure I have a good focus over here on my camera. Okay, so I had this thing with a vacuum for about 3 to 4 minutes, and so far the needle hasn't dropped. So that means that there's no leaks, no coolant leaks, no air leaks. So that's a good sign. That means that we did a very good job replacing that water pump. So we're gonna continue to run the vacuum with this thing. Bam. We wanna get rid of all the air bubbles in the system. You wanna see your hoses collapsing just like that, right? All the heater hoses probably. I don't know if these are gonna collapse or not. I don't think so. But yeah, you wanna see the hoses collapsing, getting all that air. We don't wanna have air bubbles in the systems because if you ever had a car with air bubbles, you know it can be a pain in the ass. Like the heater won't work. Sometimes it'll throw the antifreeze through the radiator. It will do some silly shit. Okay, so we're right now at 30. That's what we want to see within 25 and 30, right? So we're gonna bleed the line, this line right here. We're gonna bleed it. Boom. Gonna suck some more air. And it looks like we're ready. In this bucket, I already got my antifreeze. Trust me, it's antifreeze. It's not water. It's not water. Over here, it gets very cold, so you don't want to have water in your engine, and then the water can freeze and can hydrolock your engine. So let's run the antifreeze. Boom. So now we got the antifreeze going to the engine through all the little passages, and then the next thing we want to do, we want to monitor our antifreeze level here in the bucket. We don't want it to run out of antifreeze and introduce an error into the system. That will be a bad thing. That'll be a really bad thing, because this is the whole purpose of this thing is to not have air in the system. Oh my goodness, I think it's gonna take a lot more than I thought it was going to. So yeah, you might have to bring one more. My brother called this truck the dinosaur because it's hella freaking old and shit, man. We might not need it actually, yeah? Huh? We might not need it, but just bring it just in case. That was 2 gallons. So with the engine fully empty, or shit, that sounds bad. Fully empty, completely empty. That's what I meant to say. With the engine completely empty, I don't have a doubt this thing can take up to three jugs, right?
If this is completely empty,
yeah.
But right now, let's say 2.5, maybe 3.
2. It actually took 2. It actually took 2. So as we can see here on the gauge, it's already at 0 or near 0. There's no more antifreeze running through the pipe. And then we still got a little bit left over. So that's kind of cool. We didn't have to use a new jug. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to close the valve. I'm going to release the air. Boom. And then now to the next job, which is going to be an oil change and then the real wheel cylinders. So stay tuned. Okay, you guys, now with the truck up in the air, let's proceed to remove the oil plug. On my truck, the oil plug is gonna be a 60mm bolt or plug. Oh fuck, I got that on the way. Okay. I know, so like, what do they say? If it leaks oil, it has oil, right? I don't even know it has a freaking copper washer. I don't even know. Okay, so I'll let that thing drain. And then we're gonna proceed to remove the oil filter. Okay, so now I already drained the oil, so now I'm gonna proceed to remove the oil filter. And for whatever reason, that thing was so freaking tight on there. I stripped the damn filter. So now we're gonna use this tool. I don't know if you guys can see it over there.
The flashlight is blocking the way.
Oh, the flashlight, damn flashlight, okay. All right, how about there?
Right there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so now we're gonna proceed to remove the filter, and I wouldn't doubt that this filter is gonna leak oil, and the oil is gonna get in my hands and my head and my face and my hair and everything, because that's how it goes. So just gotta remove the oil filter, and of course some more stuff is gonna come out. Yeah, the one you're shaking me. Okay. All right. Let it drain for a second. Just let it drain for a second so we don't get that stuff all over ourselves. All right, so let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, she's out. God damn it. All right, so the oil filter is out. Oil is drained. We're gonna let it drip there for what, I don't know, 5-10 minutes, and then we'll proceed to install the new oil filter. We'll put some oil in it, and then we'll switch to the back. Right on, guys. So now that the truck is already drained, the filter is already drained. So now we're gonna proceed to install the oil filter. In this case, I'm gonna use a Denso. I believe on the previous video I showed a Bosch filter, but that was the wrong filter. So this is actually the right filter. The part number or the filter number, if you're gonna use a Denso, it's gonna be 150-2062. I'm gonna repeat that, a 150-2062. And for the oil, we're gonna use the liquid moly. I know that Dodge will recommend a 5W30. This truck is old and it has a lot of miles, so I already burns a little bit of oil. I'm gonna put out something a little bit thicker, which is gonna be the 10W40. So I know some of you guys might throw some hate. It's what it is. I still don't feel like I want to put a freaking engine on this thing, so I want to keep driving it as much as possible without having to replace the engine. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna put a light coat of oil around the O-ring, just like that. And then you're gonna have to follow me over here. I don't know if this is gonna be a good view or not, but there's really no science to it. You know, the same thing it came out, same thing is gonna go in. Find the oil fitting or the oil filter fitting. Locate the filter. We're gonna spin it. We're gonna spin it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not gonna use a tool to tighten the filter because I don't want it to be too tight. Usually the heat cycles will make it go a little tighter. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna use my hand. Boom. And with my hand, I'm just gonna tighten it. Yep. Just like that. One more. Cool. We're gonna proceed to install the oil plug 100%. I don't have the torque specification. I'm gonna look for the torque specification. Put a new copper washer. Actually, I totally forgot about that. I'm gonna put a new copper washer. I'm gonna lower the truck, put the oil, and I'll give you the first startup. All right. All right, you guys. So the oil filter is already installed. The oil plug or oil drain plug is already torqued. The final torque is gonna be 25 foot-pounds. The oil capacity for this engine, I believe, is gonna be for the 5.9. It's gonna be 5 quarts or 4.7 liters, depending on which part of the world you're at. And maybe you work with liters, maybe you work with quarts. So for liters, 4.7, and for quarts, 5.0. Cool. Next on, the oil specification is gonna be per manufacturer is gonna be 5W30. I'm not gonna use 5W30. I'm gonna use 10W40. I got my reasons. You guys I've already told you why I'm gonna use what I'm gonna use. Some of you are gonna be very upset, but it is what it is, right? So we're gonna put some of this stuff in here. Boom. And when I look at the liquid moly, it totally looks like used oil. It looks like used differential oil, or it looks like oil that came from an engine that just threw a rod bearing. I don't know why it looks like that, but whatever. Very expensive oil, by the way. So we're gonna make it drink it. Oh yeah, drink it all, baby. Drink it all. You gotta drink your little milk. Yeah. You gotta drink your little milk. Oh yeah. Well, it's been a fun job. I am sure that some of you guys are gonna benefit from some of the shit I said. You know, I'm not a professional YouTuber. I'm not a professional videographer, so I don't even know like what I'm saying on camera. So here's what happened. Usually I wouldn't talk as much, and usually I'll put some music on the background. But I found out that every time I put some music background, YouTube will flag me for copyright. But now you guys are screwed because now you're gonna have to hear me talk all this nonsense. It's okay. It's all right. Man, this shit is thick. So in an old engine like this, I'm not saying that oil viscosity doesn't matter, because of course it does. But if you put a little bit of thicker oil, it's not gonna make the whole world of a difference. Now, if you have a car that has VVT, the oil viscosity is gonna be very, very important, because at that point, your oil is not only a lubricant, but it's also a hydraulic fluid, right? The engine is gonna use that oil to create pressure for the VVT gears to adjust the timing, whether it be, you know, advanced or retarded. Your VVT cylinders are gonna create that pressure to retard or advance the timing. So at that point, yes, the oil viscosity has to be whatever the manufacturer recommends, right? And this thing is obviously doesn't have variable timing, so we're not too worried about that. So there she is. She's got some oil in her. And now I'm gonna ask my brother, I know he's busy over there, but I'm gonna ask my brother to come and start the truck. If I can find the cap for the, oh, there she is. All right, brother. Please go ahead and start the truck. Yes, I'll move the computer. Everything is good, yeah. Everything is good. Here we go. There she goes. Ready? Go for it. Boom. Just go ahead and kill it, because I don't want all that smoke to come over here. I just wanted to start it, that's it. So there you go, guys. I'm gonna let it run later. I'm not gonna sit here with the camera and wait for hours until it warms up. I'm gonna let it run later. But so far the engine work is done, and we're gonna switch to the back and replace those wheel cylinders. And you know what? That might be for a different video. Actually, that's gonna be a different video. So if you wanna watch or you wanna learn how to replace the real wheel cylinders, stay tuned. That's gonna be a whole different video. We might do the wheel cylinders. We're gonna do brake shoes, maybe the brake hardware. I don't know yet. But that's gonna be a complete different video. Otherwise, this video is gonna be 2 hours long, and nobody wants to hear me talk for 2 hours. So stay tuned. Shout out to Tigre over there. Thank you for your help. You're awesome. And thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching my content. I know, like I said, I'm not a professional YouTuber, but I do what I can to keep you entertained, to teach you something, to keep engaged with the car community, and obviously to keep this old lady alive, man. She's an old beast. So thanks for subscribing. Catch you later.